Thank you for this introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Pavel Kaminsky, and the last 10 years I have been doing this information security in its many phases. Information, IT governance, risk assessments, penetration testing, and so on. Since 2008, we developed, support, and actively market our own DDoS protection technology. Since then, we are protecting various corporates like pharma, retail, gambling, financial, banks, even the national one, unfortunately not the Bulgarian one. And DDoS is the topic I would like to discuss with you today. Let me start with some questions. Please, hands up those of you who knows what is a DDoS attack. Okay. Please, hands up those of you who experienced a DDoS attack.
From which side?
Okay, good, I'm not alone. Okay, please, hands up of those of you who tried to launch a DDoS attack. Okay. Guys, you see, you should be careful with them. Please, hands up those of you who done this many times. You are getting smarter, yeah? Okay, so I see that we have all types of players here, and for everybody else, DDoS attacks are those attacks that various hacktivists like Anonymous use. But these attacks are also well known as a weapon against the competition. They are hugely popular. Actually, if you open any chart of the most known cybersecurity incidents, you will see that at least half of them were DDoS attacks. Why does it happen? DDoS attacks are easy to launch. Almost no qualification is necessary in order to power a DDoS attack. In case of a normal, regular attack, the hacker has to know a lot of things. He has to continuously educate himself, knows various operating systems, applications, networking, and so on. All of this is not needed in case of DDoS attacks. There are plenty of freely available tools that you can get for free and launch an attack. And you even can just buy it. Just type a DDoS booter in Google and be amazed how many results you will get. Today, it's easier than buying pizza online. The second thing is DDoS attacks are very hard to trace. Again, in case of regular attacks, the hacker has always communicate with the victim. He has to scan the victim, he has to probe it, anyway he will leave traces on the victim by any means. All this doesn't happen in case of DDoS attack. The victim even cannot communicate. The pricing is constantly falling. The attackers even have competition between them. We even sometimes get a request to protect them, the sites that are selling DDoS attacks. If you want to ask what we do, of course we refuse them, but this happens. Unfortunately, mitigation costs a lot more than the attack. It's easily explained because the botnet is usually being built using stolen resources. The hacker uses stolen credit cards to buy some things. The hacker hacks computers making a botnet using their internet and so on. So it's all free, it's all stolen to them. When we talk about mitigation, about protection, we have to buy all this legally. We have with multi-year contracts, with redundancy capacity, and you know how which vendors could be. So it's a completely different story. Online presence is there. If your resource has an access online to the internet, one day it will be that time. Do you like this picture? Can you imagine how many working hours we spend on it? Okay, on this fancy picture, our artist has given us a typical DDoS protection topology. The light green ring on the top is the so-called protected resource. In the middle, you can see a protection network. In this case, it's represented with a 4-point of presence, POPs. BGP anycast is used here in order to distribute the traffic globally. The more POPs we have, the better, because we will be able to get less traffic in one location, let's say like that, and the more distributed there are, again, the better. In this red zone, you can see a bot. The botnet is being controlled by a command and control center, and the hacker is controlling the command and control center, the CISA. What are the complications here? As you can see, on the side of the victim or the protected network, we see only bots. In order to understand the real source of the attack, we have somehow to get an access to a bot. Legally, it's practically impossible because you have to hack it or you have to wiretap it or anyway you have to get an access to it. Even if you manage to get an access to the bot, you will see the command and control center. Usually, it's located in the locations which are hardly accessible from the target. Let's say if the center will be most probably located in China or Russia or Iran and vice versa. Okay, let's imagine we get somehow access to a command and control center. We put a wiretap there or something else. Again, we will never see the hacker because it for sure will be hidden by a series of VPN connections, Tor network, and so on. So let's leave the national security and secret services here. For business, it's practically not good. Why does it happen? Who needs this all? Let's talk about the groups of people who actually do all this. The first group are so-called hacktivists. These are people being driven by a political, social, or religion cause. They seek no explicit financial gain and quite dangerous. The good thing is that their budget is still a bit limited because it's being built on ideology which is known to humans. And here are the hacktivist copycats. Weird people do this for financial gain or personal revenge, mostly, and just pretend to be a hacktivist. The extortionists, they know what they are doing. They ask you for cash and promise to stop for cash, but they will never stop. Actually, if you pay them once, they will continue to bleed the victim dry because they stay anonymous. You cannot deal with them. And the competition. Absolutely all big websites are a target of the US attacks from time to time. What about the small fish? It's also a target here, and especially in case of time that is very important for them. Let's say their peak hours or their promotion time. Black Friday will be soon, so we will see a new series of DDoS attacks for sure. Political terrorists, this is probably the most dangerous group. Their attacks are very huge, volumetric, prolonged. Their budget is not limited in many cases. The good thing is that business is not usually a target here, at least business goes to politics or religion. The bored students, they want to learn something new. Their attacks are mostly short-lived, small and chaotic, but they could be quite dangerous for an unprepared infrastructure. And my favorite one, the geeks. They know more, but and use the same techniques in most cases, but quite annoying because they combine their actions with the regular penetration testing actions. They know about penetration testing and actually scanning the resource from all different angles, trying to climb in any possible hole. So, to recap, DDoS attacks do not steal your data. They steal your right to be online, your reputation, and means for your reputation. DDoS attack do not steal but can be used to steal. How? By providing a small screen for other hacker attacks. And we have it in the news. The Carphone warehouse was hit by a series of DDoS attacks while the hackers were stealing the personal data of their 2.4 million customers. The same happened to Linode. They were hit with more than 30 DDoS attacks while they were being compromised. Even the government, the FFIEC, warned banks about the use of DDoS attacks as a diversionary tactic. And of course, everybody remember the story with Sony Corporation some years ago. They were hit by continuous, very large DDoS attacks at that time. And just after some time, we understood that it was a small screen for stealing the data of their millions of their customers, of their network. How does it work? In 2001, several scientists from the Lockheed Martin Corporation created a network, a framework, or a model. They call it an intrusion kill chain, or the cyber attack kill chain. Let's see what it has here. The first stage is a reconnaissance. This is the same stage like in any penetration test, open testing here normally. It's a very important stage because the information gathered here will be used for all other steps. Actually, this stage creates the direction of all other actions. The information gathering is happening here, the scanning of the resource, the identifying of the vulnerabilities, and so on. The second stage is weaponization. The attacker creates a weapon. It creates a payload delivery system and all other things connected with the malware weapon. Delivery. The weapon is being delivered to a target. Usually it's being done by different means, by email, phishing, by email phishing campaigns, by spare phishing websites, and so on. Exploitation. The malware weapon goes live. It gets activated, it establishes its persistence, and so on. Installation. The access point is being installed in order to allow a further compromise. Command and control stage actually represents a hacker's fingers on the keyboard. The hacker is already inside the network, keeping his persistence there, continuing maintaining it, scanning for new resources, seeing where to go further and on. And the actions on target phase, which is the initial, which is the final stage here, where the data exfiltration or ransom or any other means take place. DDoS can be used on several stages here. Let's see them in more details. The reconnaissance, if you remember, was the first stage. They will launch a small DDoS attack here to size up your security posture and ability to respond. The idea of the attackers here is to hide their probing and port scanning and looking for vulnerabilities to exploit and to make your monitoring systems don't work. Again, the knowledge gathered here will be used to extract data and in the final stage. The malware delivery and exploitation, if you remember, it was the third and fourth stage. The hacker was already inside the network and spreading out, dropping malware. In order to cover their tracks, they will launch a DDoS attack to overwhelm your threat detection and forensic tools. And the final stage. They will launch a DDoS attack as a diversion while they steal confidential data such as credit cards information, intellectual property, and other valuable information. While you are distracted, the hackers will quietly slip away undetected, and the DDoS attack mysteriously ends. In order to be able to fight with this, you have to have an action plan. Let's talk about this in more details. Align your risk assessment, information security strategy, policies, incident response procedures to threat landscape. No any business risk assessment today is complete without taking into account DDoS risks. Think about your incident response procedures in case of DDoS. Talk to your managed security service providers and SSPs. Analyze various scenarios. Make sure that your personnel know what to do in case of the denial of service. A very simple example here. Let's imagine an uptime dependent company, let's say a bank office. It usually has a guest Wi-Fi network which is built according with the best practices. Let's say it's guest access and everything is segmented, all is good. The hacker enters there, asks you for a password, for a guest password, enters the network, sees the external IP address of the gateway, and launches an attack. The entire network will go down. From your side, you will see this like a problem with your router or with your gateway. Do you have a plan what to do? What is the size of your internet connections? 100 megs or 200 or maybe 1G? Today, this internet connection can get down for $100 for the entire month. think about such cases, know what to do in cases. Yeah. Procure and strengthen your DDoS mitigation. A properly placed on-premise DDoS mitigation will save you from many possible problems, actually, including the previous one. If you think that your firewalls, IPS, IDS, will be able to fight with DDoS attacks, you will probably fail because they are created with another intent, so they are working differently. In most cases, they are the first target for a DDoS attack or a APT attack in most cases. Re-engineer network to ensure access to resources even under DDoS. This could be sounds strange, but the first thing for unprepared system administrator, network administrator, is to get access to their network in case of DDoS. Again, just let's imagine the possible scenario when you have a remote PC, your system administrator has a remote connection there via a VPN, everything as it should be, and one volumetric DDoS attacks make the whole DC down. The connection of your network administrator will also be down because in most cases it's being done via the same objects. So think about these cases also. Develop a whitelist. If you have a very important customers, partners, or other entities that should have an access to your infrastructure in any case, develop a whitelist for them because it would be useful. You will be forced to disable everything else. Yeah. Procure a SIEM system, information event management system. It will help you to better understand your network. It will help you to separate your normal traffic from the noise, so your security personnel can be focused on the noise. Train your personnel, enhance their awareness. We all know that human, is the weakest link in this chain, cybersecurity chain. Be sure that they know what to do, who to contact in case of DDoS attack. During one of our DDoS stress testing scenarios, one company were looking for 40 minutes for contacts of their cloud DDoS protection vendor. They were protected, they were paying for the service, but they didn't know what to do when it happened. A few words about incident response testing. The simulation phase is absolutely required in case of DDoS attack. If you stop on tabletop, you will probably fail in the real world. Of course, penetration testing do both. Network application, it will enable your early application to be able to better protect your network, to close as much as possible intrusion points, and so on. A few words about DDoS resiliency assessment. Again, a little bit of questions. How many of you knows what is a DDoS stress test? Please hand up. Okay, good. How many of you use actually DDoS stress testing? Nobody. Okay. So it is very useful and it's a really affordable thing because it will help you to address issues in an absolutely controlled environment. It will help you to address issues before attacks happen. It will help you to enhance your incident response procedures. It will help you to control, to work with your DDoS mitigation solutions. It will evaluate your DDoS mitigation vendor if you need. Maybe the most important, it will prevent panic in your personnel when DDoS occurs. A few business cases here. For example, it is very useful for a company who wants to approach a new DDoS protection vendor and test various proof of concept models. We have done such projects. So this is the business cases from our experience section. The second one is about a company who already has a DDoS protection, but it failed. It failed during the peak hours, during one campaign of theirs, and they were not able to understand the reason of this fail at that time. And the idea was to simulate absolutely same attacks under a controlled environment to understand what happened to their systems, what happened to their network. Another case for very uptime dependent companies could be to simulate all modern DDoS attacks on their infrastructure. For example, when we see in the news in Iran, UK, we have to simulate that in order to see how well they prepared. So again, it's a very affordable thing and very, very useful. And a few considerations about cloud DDoS protections. Again, let me ask you, please, hands up those of you who knows what is Cloudflare. Okay. Please, hands up those of you who uses Cloudflare. Or use it. Okay, not much. Okay. The most important thing here is that your cloud DDoS protection vendor is not always the point which you have to blame in case of problems. There are a lot of possible problems that can you have with the architecture of your DDoS protection systems. You should be sure that you have protected all your resources, because in most cases there are things that you may be forgotten about, like an old CRM system that nobody uses, but the hacker can find it in Google to see a real IP address and attack it directly, not by the cloud protection. In most cases, such point could be a mail server, which could be exposing your real IP addresses and many other resources. So it's a good case to make a complete assessment of your infrastructure, even when you're in the cloud, in order to understand that you are doing right. I think we touched this topic too badly, so I will be happy to answer your questions. Okay. I know it's complicated, it's okay.